go through the process of creating a document. If you're on the file cover, you can use the communicate button, but if you're on the history of a case, under the matter menu, the communicate button also exists. So from either place you can create a document and it will bring you to the main document screen. In here you can search for all the relevant precedents using a simple keyword search, and there are two main functions within the document screen, either to draft or to send, which will probably depend on which kind of document it is you're dealing with. Let's assume we're going to do a brief to counsel, which we're probably going to want to draft in order that we can make some amendments to the main document, probably come back and finish it off later before we then send. In this case, if I save and close, once the history is refreshed, my document will be on the history of the case for me to send out later on. If though I want to say do a blank letter, I probably want to be in a position to send that straight out. In this case, I'm going to do a blank letter to the client. Also in this case, you'll see this client does not have an associated email address, so when I click next, it's going to ask me the questions relating to the central print options. It's going to create a document that I can then amend, save and close, and once the history is refreshed, we can see that this has been assigned to the central print tray. Let's assume, however, I was creating a blank letter, but this time I was going to send to the CPS. Here I've selected the relevant CPS address. I can also copy it to other parties, but only those parties with an email address associated with them, say for example the court. Here now I'm asked the questions relating to whether there are any additional hard copy documents. Assuming not, I can then amend my letter, save and close, and this time it's going to attach to an outgoing email when I send, and when I refresh the history, I now have the letter associated email on the history of the case.